Chapter 11 The Fairytale, How We Met, The Cutshaw and The Nguyen, Two Bloodlines, One Journey. The sacred currency of the heart. Wealth wears many disguises. Some see it with numbers, others in the weight of gold, but the wise know that the truest wealth lives in the warmth of love, in the hands that hold yours when life trembles, in the eyes that still search for you across a crowded room, and in the soft laughter that fills a home. Love, when pure, is the only possession that grows the more you share it. And when two souls from two distant worlds fight each other, love becomes not just a feeling but a divine equation where 1 plus 1 becomes infinite. The story of the Cutshaw and the Nguyen is not simply about marriage. It is the true alchemy of two destinies. One carries the whole rhythm of the West, the other the tender melody of the East. Together, they form a song that neither could have sung alone. It is the tale of balance, of how freedom meets faith, how strength bows before tenderness, and how love transforms cultural contrasts into sacred harmony. It is the story of two bloodlines, two histories, and one beautiful journey. The law of the universe, the law of attraction. In the grand design of the universe, nothing happens by accident. Every encounter is energy seeking balance. Every relationship is a mirror reflecting lessons we need to learn. The law of attraction isn't about wanting, it's about becoming. When two souls vibrate at the similar frequency, the universe brings them together like two stars orbiting a common light. The Cutshaw and the Nguyen union were such a cosmic event, not a random meeting, but a divine appointment. He, with the lineage that stretched back to the heart of Czechoslovakia, carried in his blood the courage of the people who had crossed continent for freedom. Generations ago, his ancestors left behind the cobblestone streets of Europe to begin again in the wide open skies of America. For them, he inherited the strength to build, to persevere, and to dream without boundaries. She, a daughter of Vietnam, carried with her the grace of ancient temples, the patience of rice fields bathed in monsoon rain, and the gentle humility of a culture that believes harmony is greater than victory. From her ancestors, she inherited compassion, endurance, and a soul that listens to the language of the heart. Two currents, once flowing in different oceans, met in the sea of destiny. The universe, with its quiet wisdom, knew they were not opposites, only reflections waiting to find each other. When east meets west, when the Nguyen tenderness met the Cutshaw strength, something magical happened. Not the kind of magic that fades, but the sacred kind of transforms. How they met? Their first Thanksgiving meal was not loud or dramatic. It was calm, as both souls had been expecting this reunion for centuries. There was familiarity in their differences. Her gentleness softened his edges, his steadfastness gave her wings. The Nguyen heritage taught her to love through patience, to nurture, to forgive, and to understand without demanding. The Cutshaw blood taught him to love through action, to protect, to build, to keep his word. Together, they created a new language of love, one where silence could speak louder than words, and touch could heal more than time. Where she brought incense and prayer, he brought promise and vision. Where she offered warmth and tradition, he offered adventure and change. And in that union, two worlds become one. The soft whisper of the East met the brave heartbeat of the West. Romance as divine energy, love when aligned with laws of the universe is not just emotion, it is energy, a sacred current that flows between souls to awaken growth. The early days of their love were like spring, full of laughter, wonder, and discovery. They shared stories of childhood that seemed worlds apart. Hers in the fragrant markets of Vietnam, his among the open fields of America. Yet both carry the same dream, to love deeply, to live meaningfully, to build a life of harmony and peace. He admired her quiet strength, the way she could listen with her heart, the way she saw beauty in simplicity. She admired his devotion, the way he stood firm when storms came, and how his steady presence made the world feel safe. Their romance wasn't just built on passion, it was built on purpose. They were companions of the soul, not seeking to complete each other, but to awaken the fullness already within. In their love, the universe fulfilled its law. When two souls align with sincerity, love becomes a vibration that attracts blessings, health, prosperity, peace, and joy. Two bloodlines, one rhythm. In time, their families became one living poem. The Nguyen family, with its warmth and hospitality, embraced the Cutshaw spirit with open hearts. The Cutshaw family, with its humor and generosity, welcomed the Vietnamese grace as if it had always belonged. Together, they found that love speaks more languages than any tongue. It is understood in the way tea is poured, in the way hands interlace, in the way hearts stay close even cross miles. Her contour brought her the fragrance of jasmine, the reverence of ancestors, and the quiet philosophy that the greatest wealth is peace of mind. His contour brought the fire of ambition, the joy of self-expression, and the conviction that freedom is sacred. They didn't erase their differences, they moved them together like threads on the tapestry. The Nguyen calm steady the Cutshaw drive, the Cutshaw logic grounded the Nguyen faith. Together they discover that love is not about sameness, but about complement, about finding rhythm in contrast. The world may have seen them as east and west, but the universe saw them as yin and yang, one energy, two forms, eternally entwined. The garden of companionship. Years pass and their love ripened like fruit under the sun. The initial spark deepened into steady warmth, no longer fireworks, but gentle flame that burned through all seasons. They built a home filled with laughter and faith. She brought her garden to life, roses, lilies, and orchids swaying to the song of her care. He tended the soil, built the fences, and made every corner a reflection of devotion. Together they turned an ordinary backyard into a living sanctuary, a temple where time slowed and love grew roots. Each morning began with gratitude, coffee in hand, sunlight on the porch, a quiet smile exchanged without words. Each evening ended with peace, watching the sky fade into twilight, knowing that in the world full of chaos, they had created harmony. The law of the universe teaches that energy flows attention. They didn't chase happiness, they cultivated it. They didn't demand abundance, they radiated it. They give in love, they receive it tenfold. That garden became a metaphor for their marriage, proof that when two souls nurture each other, everything around them blossoms. The law of balance and exchange. The universe runs on balance. Every giving invites receiving. Every kindness invites return. Love that only takes becomes hunger. Love that only gives becomes exhaustion. True love is circulation, like breath, like tides. The Cutshaw and Nguyen marriage honor that law. When one was weary, the other one gave strength. When one lost faith, the other one offered hope. They learned that balance isn't always equality. Sometimes it's grace, sometimes it's one giving more because the other needs more. There were moments of disagreement, as all couples have, the clash of cultures, the different ways of expressing care. But even in conflict, there was respect. They never sought victory over each other, only understanding. He learned that silence doesn't mean distance. Sometimes it means reflection. She learned that passion doesn't mean chaos. Sometimes it means commitment. Through every challenge, they grew closer. The law of the universe whisper its timeless truth. What you nurture expands. They nurture patience, forgiveness, laughter, and in return, love multiplies. The legacy of love. In time, the family tree bore fruit, 3 sons, then 6 grandchildren, each carrying a plan of east and west, of history and hope. The laughter of these little souls echo the harmony their grandparents had created. At family gatherings, cultures dance together. The fragrance of pho mingle with the aroma of the dumplings and sauerkraut. English mingle with Vietnamese traditions intertwined like vines. Each generation became a living bridge between worlds. They carry in their blood the Nguyen gentleness and the Cutshaw courage, the wisdom of the East and the freedom of the West. That was their legacy, not just DNA, but values, kindness, humility, perseverance, and faith. They had built more than a family, they had built a vibration of love that would ripple through generations. The universe rewards such unions, for when love transcends boundaries, it uplifts the whole of creation. Romance renewed through time. Love like the moon has face. In youth it glows brightly. In maturity it glows deeply. As years passed, their affection did not fade, it transformed. They no longer needed grand gestures to feel romance. It was found in the simple act of holding hands during walk, in the way he brewed her favorite coffee, without asking, in the way she cooked a bowl of pho for him because it was his favorite. They spoke often of gratitude for every trial they had overcome, for every morning they still worked side by side. They knew now that love's greatest form is companionship. To have someone who knows your history, your flaws, your soul, and still choose you every day. In that divine wealth, the kind of money cannot buy, that age cannot steal, and that even time cannot end. The Cutshaw and Nguyen love became a quiet flame, guiding not just their lives, but their hearts of those who watched them. Their romance became a prayer of the universe, a reminder that love, once true, never dies, it only changes shape. The spiritual law of love on universal laws, attraction, balance, vibration, lead back to one, the law of love. Love is the highest frequency of energy. It heals, attracts, and multiplies. When you love, you align with the rhythm of creation itself. The Cutshaw and Nguyen love story is the embodiment of this law. It began as two separate melodies and became a single harmony, vibrating with gratitude and grace. Their secret was simple. They didn't try to possess love, they became love. They didn't chase well, they created through peace and connection. The universe always mirrors our inner state because they live in love, they true abundance, not just material, but emotional, spiritual, and familial. Their home became a sanctuary of warmth where everyone felt seen, valued, and uplifted. That is the magic of the law of love. When you give sincerely, the universe rearranges itself to bless you more. Two souls, one home. In their later years, they found joy in stillness. The world outside rushed on, but there was slow into serenity. Mornings began with the soft sound of birds and the aroma of coffee. The garden still bloomed, a reflection of their shared life, vibrant, diverse, resilient. Every flower seemed to carry a memory, the laughter of youth, the trials they overcame, the prayers whispered under moonlight. Sometimes they sat together without speaking, their silence saying everything. They did not need to prove love anymore. They had become its embodiment. When he looked into her eyes, he saw the tenderness of generations of Vietnamese women, loyal, graceful, enduring. When she looked at him, she saw the courage of Czechoslovakian ancestors, steadfast, protective, brave. Two bloodlines, two continents, one heart. They had become not just husband and wife, but reflections of divine harmony, the living proof that love can transcend geography, language, and time. The well that endures. At the end of every life, only a few things truly matter: who you love, how deeply you love, and how your love changed others. The Cutshaw and Nguyen love changed everything it touched. It softened hearts, united families, and proved that when two people live in alignment with divine law, their love becomes a legacy that never ends. Material possessions fade, but kindness endures. Houses crumble, but memories remain fragrant. Bodies age, but souls continue to dance in the rhythm of affection they once knew. When future generations speak to them, they won't speak only of names, but of energy, the warmth that still lingers in the family, the peace that still fills the air, the laughter that still echoes through every joy born of their union. That is the well of relationships, the inheritance of love that time cannot diminish. Epilogue. The eternal garden. One evening, as sun melted into the horizon, they stood together in the garden they had built with their own hands. The roses glowed gold in the fading light, and the air was filled with the song of crickets. In that moment, everything the universe had promised was fulfilled. Two bloodlines had met, two souls had become one, and the well of their love had blossomed into eternity. Their story remains a gentle reminder that success without love is a lonely mountain, but love, true, giving, patient love is the richest treasure of all. And as long as the garden blooms and laughter continues to echo, their legacy will live on. The Cutshaw and the Nguyen, two names forever entwined by the hand of the divine. Life lesson, true riches are found in the eyes that look at you with love. Success without companionship is a lonely mountain. Love multiplies wealth in the ways money never can.